Okay, in this video I'm going to talk about something that has been bothering me for a long while, but especially this morning I woke up thinking about it. And I see it myself. This is my opinion, remember. Read the disclaimer, I'm not a healthcare professional provider. But it's my opinion. What I've seen, especially lately, and it's mainly with people that are maybe 10, 20 years younger than I. Okay, I'm 54. And what I've seen is they want to talk about freedom of speech in a way. Okay, because if they live in the United States and they check freedom of speech, you can't say everything you want to. And don't do the whole confirmation bias and find that you can, anything that says you can, find that what you can't say, the real thing. But they want to say that they're fighting for freedom of speech and stating that people should be able to say whatever they want to say. Okay, now we all know there are abusers, and that what they want to do is the people who are fighting for this say that they want to be able to use these people, to research to understand why they feel the need to say what they say. Well, first of all, I want to see that research you're working on. Second of all, abusers, malignant, like narcissism, malignant, sociopath, you think they're really it's going to bother them if there's a law stating that they can't do that? So they're going to do it anyway, in other words. And you don't really need any more case studies. You got plenty of them, real scientific case studies to look at. So what are you really fighting for? The thing about it is, like I said, you're saying that you want freedom of speech so they can say whatever they want, and then that way you can study them. That's the example many of them give. Listen to that. What kind of reasoning and logic is that? And what about the victims? Now, the victims, are you really thinking about them? These are people who, their lives are affected by, this kind of abuse. And what you're trying to do is take away anything they have to work toward, to use, to try to say, no, you can't do that, basically. To have something to back them up and say that, no, you can't say everything that you think you can. You want to take that away from them. Some of us work toward trying to give more reasons, like they can imprison people like that are malignant, narcissism, malignant, sociopaths, or anybody who's abusive. They want more laws to be able to fight them. If they do it, they pay the consequence. But this group, the group that I'm talking about, seems to be wanting to take everything away so they can study them. Right. Study. No. What are you really working for? Okay. Now, some may say that somewhere there's a flaw in mind. That's what they do. That's what people, my personal opinion is anybody who's fighting to say that people who are verbally abusive, emotionally abusive, knowing especially full well that this kind of thing can move on to physical abuse. Physical abuse is not the only kind of abuse, and people who work towards saying, let's let them talk, let's let them say whatever they want to say, let's give them the freedom of that. What you're giving them freedom to abuse, because that's what you're doing. That's the way I see it. You're wanting to give them more freedom to abuse, not considering the victims of this. Like I said earlier, the victims need something. We need to work toward giving the victims more rights, not giving the abusers more rights. Where did this get twisted? How did it get twisted? Seriously. But I do think that it's because of the world we live in today. Where anything that's kind of narcissistic, and one of the things narcissistic type people do is to twist things around with projection, put it on the other person, say that you're wrong. Okay, and that's what's happening here. Is to somehow say the victims are wrong because the victims stand up and say, no, I want more laws to protect me. Therefore the victims are wrong and the abusers are right. And to use such an excuse as we want to study them, really? I just can't. I've never been able to wrap my mind around hearing something like this. I don't really, I do get it. That's the problem. I do get it. But it's normalizing narcissism. Seriously, that's my opinion. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this video up. If you want to subscribe to this channel, click the circle. If you want to watch another video on this channel, click one of the rectangles. Like, subscribe, comment, share if you want. I'll talk to you in another video. Bye.